The sun is back out today and the germs are flowing. Pediatricians say this is such a bad year for the flu, worst in a decade or longer. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jennifer Meckles. We have one local doctor who's describing some of the trends he's now seeing in kids. He spoke with our 9 News reporter, Ria Jha. Ria?
Yeah, so flu symptoms, for people that have had it know this very well. It's a combination of basically everything: headache, cough, cold, fever, chills, aches. The doctor I spoke with said the flu is like other viruses. It comes in waves and seasonal variants, and some seasons, like this one, are just more widespread than others. It happens every year.
We are used to this. This is our annual seasonal tidal wave of sick kids.
But Dr. Michael Malobsky, a local pediatrician in Castle Rock,
Every winter season feels busy when you're a pediatrician.
says this winter's wave is different.
But I don't recall anything in my recent memory with this high numbers of kids testing positive for influenza in the period of time we're seeing.
And for some kids, the virus isn't stopping at a fever and coughs.
Numbers of children, unfortunately, who have hospitalized or ER visits are way, way above norms, probably going back 10 or 15 years. In our last experience with something this high for a flu wave.
He says the flu is triggering more severe secondary infections like pneumonia and invasive strep. Just this month, Dr. Malobsky says at least 15 to 20 of his patients have had to go to the hospital because of it.
Our youngest patients are the most vulnerable. A lot of my hospitalizations have been 2 and under.
But one trend does stand out to him.
Kids who did not get the flu vaccine when they got the flu are generally much sicker.
The best way to keep your kids out of the ER, doctor says act fast on flu symptoms.
There are effective and available antiviral treatments that can actually really change the course of the illness. The stipulation is early diagnosis and early treatment.
While flu season may be predictable, its impact can be anything but that.
I think people underestimate how severe and dangerous influenza can be. It's difficult when your kids are sick and everyone has to miss work and everyone's out of school for a long period of time, and that can cause an enormous amount of household stress. There are things that we can do to mitigate that in the winter, and you should ask and seek help for it.
Now, there are multiple strains of the flu, so the doctor said even if you or your child has had it this year, it's still a good idea to get the vaccine. He wants to remind people that the vaccine doesn't prevent the flu, but it does have a significant impact on how severe the symptoms are. Ria Jha, 9 News.
All right, Ria, thanks for your reporting. At least 11 people have died and dozens are sick from a listeria outbreak linked to frozen supplemental shakes. On Friday, the FDA said the products were sold under brand name Cisco Imperial and also Lions Ready Care. They're distributed in places like hospitals and long-term care facilities across 21 different states, including Colorado. The FDA says those products have now been recalled, and the CDC says the outbreak includes cases dating all the way back to 2018. Researchers at CU have created a device they hope can help sniff out certain illnesses. The idea is to analyze what is on your breath when you exhale. The group says the laser-based device can take any sample of a gas and identify a variety of the molecules within it. And in order to take a sample, researchers tell patients to breathe into a bag, and that device helps them analyze the molecules. Researchers say they're testing samples from sick kiddos right now at Anschutz Medical Campus.
And by looking at this fingerprint information, that allows us to figure out whether or not this is a molecule that's like carbon dioxide or like some other exotic molecule like nitric oxide, or it's like even a virus.
So it's obviously very cool science, but the whole point is to help people catch illness earlier. And once they perfect this device, the researchers want to make a smaller version and something more accessible too. The Vatican says Pope Francis is in critical condition this weekend after suffering from an asthma attack. He'd been hospitalized for more than a week already. He'd come down with pneumonia. Now the Vatican says he is alert, but he's still in some pain. The Pope also received blood transfusions for anemia, and doctors believe he'll be able to stay in the hospital for at least another week. We have learned tonight a police officer killed while responding to an active shooter at a hospital in Pennsylvania spent several years of his career working as an officer in Denver. That shooting happened at UPMC Memorial Hospital in York, Pennsylvania. Investigators say the shooter held several hospital staff members hostage. 3 of them, plus 2 other police officers, were also shot but survived. No patients got hurt. The gunman was killed in a shootout with police. Now, the officer who died was identified as Andrew Duarte, and according to DPD, he worked with that department from 2017 to 2022. And while serving here in Denver, he worked as a DUI enforcement officer as well as a patrol officer. Back in 2021, he received the Mothers Against Drunk Driving Hero Award for his work in impaired driving enforcement. DPD says he was highly regarded for his work and developed close relationships and friendships with his teammates. All right, let's turn our attention now to the forecast. A beautiful day outside of our studios here in Denver. What a great break after this week we had with record low temperatures and heavy snow just yesterday. Today is a complete turnaround. Remember this? This is what we saw just yesterday in the Denver area. Heavy snow piling up on the streets. Most of Denver got at least 6 inches of snow. Some parts got more than a foot. Let's bring in 9 News Weather Impact Team meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen. You and I both live on the west side of town. Corey, we saw a lot of snow yesterday. Got
Yeah,
like a
that's
foot
right.
at my house.
Yeah, I mean, I was close. What we had today was Mother Nature playing one of my favorite soundtracks, though, and that is the continuous sound of snow melt, the rain or the snow dripping off of the rooftops. And that's what we had today, and didn't clear all of it, but most of it. The rest will probably come down tomorrow. Look at these clear blue skies still out to the east here as we get a few clouds just starting to show up here over the Front Range foothills. But we hit 59 degrees officially at Denver International Airport today. 1 degree from a 60 mark. We could get that tomorrow. That's well above 12 degrees above the average temperature. Not quite anywhere near that record of 72, but our low temperature this morning was exactly spot on the normal low temperature for February 22nd. Here's the current temperatures across the area. Still 59 degrees in Fort Lupton and Keensburg here. We're at 55 here at the 9 News studios in downtown Mile High City. Here's the forecast for tomorrow. More sunshine, probably complete clear skies up till about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, much like today, but we have a little bit better chance to even hit that 60-degree mark tomorrow. And there's several more 60s in the forecast, so I'll be detailing that coming up in just a few minutes.
Corey, thank you. The future of an historic Colorado Little League field could now be in jeopardy because Boulder County has announced some plans to sell a parcel of land that contains those fields. 9 News reporter Evan Krugel shows us why the county is moving and why the community hopes those fields can stay.
Most young kids
Perfect.
dream about hitting a home run.
Like almost every time I step up to base.
9-year-old Cormac
Over the home plate.
dreams even bigger and wonders if he could reach the mountains just west of Boulder.
If I had a super strong bat with superpowers, yeah.
It's a dream thousands of little leaguers have had over the nearly 70 years of history at the Iris Fields in North Boulder.
I mean, it's
Thomas Click
jaw-dropping.
has 2 sons who play here and understands what this place means to the community.
It's the lifeblood of the community. It's the heartbeat of the community.
It's why Thomas is worried these sounds could be about to disappear.
These 4 fields are owned by Boulder County, which also owns 5 buildings just to the west. The entire parcel is now for sale, leaving the future of the ball fields in jeopardy.
It's one plat. The county has said that they are going to sell it as one plat, and then the fate of it resides in the hands of the new owner.
Boulder County says it's selling the 17-acre plot of land to save taxpayers money by moving into a more energy-efficient building downtown. Thomas and more than 1,500 people have signed an online petition asking the county to develop a legal agreement that would require the buyer to keep the fields in place while they develop the office space into something new.
We feel it's more appropriate for the county to address that before the sale rather than leave it up to the highest bidder.
A county spokesperson says community members will get a chance to share perspectives before any changes are approved. They did not respond to questions about whether the county is planning to protect the fields before or during any eventual sale. Cormac hopes these fields can one day get him to the big leagues.
Then I can make a lot of money and buy you guys Lamborghinis.
Dreams Thomas hopes can live on.
I mean, we don't want to lose that.
In Boulder, Evan Krugel, 9 News.
I love that kid. A county spokesperson says the new building they're moving into will save taxpayers millions of dollars over the next decade. We'll have more information on that petition on our website, 9news.com. Tomorrow, Coloradans will celebrate the life and legacy of urban preservationist Dana Crawford. She died last month at the age of 93. Crawford is credited with saving some of Colorado's most iconic locations and leaves behind a visible legacy all over downtown Denver. A celebration of life will be held tomorrow at Union Station from 2 to 5 p.m., and that event is open to the public.